we got to talk about some drama. Yes, Nicole. The drama of this week was insane. Ooh. The drama. I love the drama. If you guys didn't know, I'm sorry, my dogs are excited about the drama too. They saw me excited, so they're excited. So the drama is amazing. We got some drama this week, and I can't wait to talk to you ladies about it. And I want to get your opinion. So as I talk about the drama, we want you guys to chime in too, because we got some pretty good, juicy drama. All right. So Micah Parsons, I don't know if you guys knew, but he has a podcast. So his podcast basically was saying that he feels like Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are over scrutinized when we don't do it to other teams. Like other teams can be in the same situation. Cowboys played the Jets. They said the Jets was a nobody. The Eagles play the Jets, they lose, and then nobody talks about it as the same way that they would talk about the Cowboys. So how do you guys feel? Do you feel like this is what's going to happen? This is what happens when it comes to the Cowboys? I mean, how do you guys feel about the situation? Because Micah Parsons seems pretty pumped up about the bash against his quarterback and his team, and he feels like keep the same energy is what he said, quote, keep the same energy. How do you guys feel, Delilah?
I expect teammates to defend their, you know what I mean? It's expected. Yeah. Like, it's not the first time. Anytime, like, you know, a quarterback is trash, for the most part, right? For the most part, teammates will come out and say, yo, like, you know, they'll explain, like, how we could talk football all the time, right? But we know we can't go out there and do it. You know, we can analyze it back and forward, right? We could watch endless tapes. But at the end of the day, I ain't gonna go out there and, you know, be a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, that just takes skills. And so I expect him to, you know, I'm glad that he's defending his guy. You know what I mean? Like, I would expect it. You want that from your teammates to at least have that loyalty, you know. Loyalty can be rare sometimes. So, you know, when you see someone that's loyal, like, yo, if you're going to go after my quarterback, go after these other ones.
Very true.
And he's making good points. Because he's not the only one out there throwing picks, right? We know that. He's not the only one out there throwing picks. He's not the only one losing games, right? And so I understand what he means about, all right, well, if you're going to really, really trash this guy, we'll keep the same energy for these other guys, you know? He's just saying, all right, let's even the playing field. So I get it.
All right, you know? What you think? Oh, come on. Tell me about it, Kate. What you think?
I agree. I mean, if you're going to say one thing about one team, you got to say it about every team. I mean, it's only fair. It's only the just thing to do. I mean, yes, he has had how many interceptions so far, but I think one of our other hosts, quarterback's been sacked quite a few times this season in Washington. So, I mean, where's that evenness of saying if you're going to diss Dak, you got to diss Sam Howell because he's getting sacked a lot, and why isn't he getting that? And why isn't, like, Joe Burrow, who is one of my favorite players, being scrutinized for his performances and everything? Why isn't Justin Herbert getting scrutinized for his performance against your team when he could have won that game for him? So if you're going to scrutinize one, you got to scrutinize them all and make it an even level playing field for every quarterback and every team in the NFL. So, I mean, there's other teams that are not doing as well as the Cowboys, but they're not getting the same level playing field. But ESPN covers your Cowboys like it's going out of style all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when are you going to start talking about the good and just not the bad?
Boom. That's it. All right. What you think, Nicole?
I was just going to put on that with, you know, they have such a huge fan base. And with that, bad words travel faster and larger than the good. And with such a large fan base in the NFL, it is like an echo chamber in there that it just reaches throughout, and there's quite passionate fans. And they do now have I mean, they love their team and everything, so it is very hard. But like I said, I think you're right. We shouldn't be scrutinizing, just them, and it kind of just makes us not getting it for that. So I can see that team player and what he's saying about back and sending them.
Yeah. I mean, I can totally get it. They are America's team. You're right. That's the quote unquote America's team. They do have a lot of fans. And I do understand that it's going to come with the territory. Scrutinized, like you said, the organization's big, money, and it's years of being told America's team, Jerry Jones of being himself. Yes, you guys are for sure one of the, we got a big franchise, right or wrong. Sometimes it's just too much, a lot of, I totally agree. I absolutely totally agree. I just feel like sometimes it could be a little much. Nobody even cares about the fact that he literally broke the hand that he actually did the same year of all the interceptions. And his throwing hand, you get no credit. It's just like Dak should be let go and he should be traded to another team. It's just I think sometimes it is an over, reaction, over doing it, but it comes with the territory, and I feel like I hope Micah knows by now it just comes with the territory. Captain America left when Roger Staubach returned. All right, I understand. Let's be honest, it's the Cowboys. Dak is listen, he's not lackluster. If you think about it, he's at least top 10 in the league, right? He's at least top 10. So, and it's 32 teams. It's 32 teams. You know how hard it is to get to a top 10 quarterback? It's not just going to happen. It doesn't happen often where we get rid of him. We rely on the draft. How many times have they said the number one pick was going to be dynamic, fantastic? Everybody swore Johnny Manziel was going to be the next legend. It doesn't happen all the time. I don't think that we should start over. We got to build around him and make it work and do what it do. But at the end of the day, there's other teams who get a high-paid quarterback, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Herbert. All of these quarterbacks get top-tier money, and they're doing the same thing Dak is doing. They're getting them to the playoffs. They're winning when they can win, but it's not like they're winning Super Bowls. Lamar has not won a Super Bowl. Josh Allen has not won a Super Bowl. So how do you not hold the same accountability? You're not screaming, oh, if the Bills missed the Super Bowl, they're not going to be screaming, let's fire Josh Allen. We got to be honest.
Your first year with your offensive coordinator too?
McCarthy is the first year. It's got to get used to his style and his play.
So there's a little defense for you. You have new offensive coordinator. You got to get used to all of that and gel.
Absolutely.
So here, I'm helping you today.
It's a PR thing. I think the Patriots have been the America's team for a long time. I actually think that they were great too. I think it was a PR thing with America's great. I know, America's team. 2 words, and there's only one Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
There's only one. You think about it, it's 32 teams.
I know.
And you think we should get rid of the Dak Prescott just because?
I don't think you should. I think that's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. But I feel what Mike is saying, like you said, Delilah, it's just hard when every week, yes, they are talking about us, but it's all negative. You get no credit. Dak's biggest challenge is living up to the Cowboys' grades. That's true. But we also got to get out of the era of the greats. We have not won a Super Bowl in almost 3 decades.
Man.
We have to get over that. These kids weren't even alive. We got to build what they had back 30 years ago.
So right.
It's always something. You know how many teams have not won a Super Bowl in a long... It's been a rotation of the same teams winning. The Lions. Come on, man.
I know.
I can get riled up about it, but that was my first drama because I felt like it was a hot topic all over the news. All right. We got to talk about it, Kate, because it's all over the news. It's all over everything everybody's talking about is the NCAA is investigating Michigan's football.
Oh yeah,
So
we're used to it. It's part of like the ground and the woodwork and everything
yeah.
else. Because we
If you don't
supposedly
know, ladies and
stole
gentlemen,
signs and we
exactly, I know. We got to tell them
shouted
what
and we
happened
did
though.
this.
If you don't know, Michigan is the NCAA is investigating Michigan, saying they're spying on other teams and getting their signal calls on the sideline to figure out plays. If you haven't heard, Michigan is a dynamic powerhouse team that is winning games. But are they winning games by cheating? What do you ladies think? Come on, Nicole, give it to me.
I know that film. It's called Bring It. What's that cheerleader film? Bring It On. And it's not that case. You know. I think that the big house of blue and yellow can stand from within the wooden frames, and they're just going to take them on that same tour they've probably been on, and saying this is this and this is that, and there you go.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Harbaugh's denying it, though. He is denying it. All right, I got to get to my girl last because I know she's going to have something to say about her team. All right, Delilah, what you think about this drama going on in Michigan?
Okay, so I don't know, like, because with college football, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know as much as everybody else here, but, like, I felt like if they are cheating, I don't know, right? It's allegedly. Would they not have used that to actually go all the way and, like, win the actual, like, championship? I'm just saying.
Preach.
I don't know. But if that really was the case, would they not cheat all the way so they could get a national championship, whatever it's called in college? I'm sorry, I don't know the... Am I saying it right? Is it a national championship?
Yep, it is.
Okay,
Yep.
Thank you. You know what I mean? I would think that they would use it so that they actually could get that W that they've been waiting for a long time. That's all. I don't know if it's true or not, but I would think that they would use it to get that far and win one. That's all.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we've all been waiting for Kate. Get in the ring. What do you guys think? What do you think?
It's a bunch of bullpucky. If we were cheating and if we were really doing all of this, we wouldn't have had rough starts against like Indiana. We had rough starts against Rutgers. We didn't always come out powerhouse like we should have, and we didn't like completely. Oh, good Lord, Sean Spencer, get away with that crap. But my quarterback threw 3 interceptions against a defense. If we read their defense perfectly, he shouldn't have thrown 3 interceptions in a game. We shouldn't be turning the ball over, or we shouldn't be doing some of the stuff we're doing if we have all the signs, all the signals, all the scouting that they're talking about. I mean, I just think we have swag that says Michigan versus everybody, because that's literally what it is. And oh, Sean, it's not true. It's just supposedly it was Indiana and Rutgers, the 2 last teams we played, and we beat them pretty handedly. That have made these allegations against our team and against our coaches. And all I know is Harbaugh is not that man. He is very true. He is very honest. He's very humble. He's a good Catholic man. That man believes in his faith and believes in God. He would not cheat. He would not steal. He would not beg, and he would not borrow to win those games. He has been at that organization for 7-8 years now. He has had several different coaches come in and out. He's just finally got the right chemistry and the right powerhouse. And maybe some princesses in the SEC have decided maybe they don't want to see the blue blood Michigan team win. And so they're like, why don't you make a few phone calls so they don't come and beat Georgia? Sorry, Anthony, but I'm just so sick of the scandal and the controversy, and that it's always Michigan this, Michigan that. But other teams can do whatever they want to do and barely get a slap on the wrist. Yet we get all these investigations. You don't see other coaches getting suspended. You don't see other organizations in college football going through what we're going through. I mean, Cheeseburger Gate, we watched a recruit do this. We watched this, whatever. We'll just take it out on the football field. We don't have to settle this in tunnels. We don't have to settle this anywhere else but on that that turf, and we will go into MSU this weekend, and we're going to show them that we have a very good coach and a very good program, and we're going to win on the field because we don't need all the other stuff that they claim we need.
All right.
Right.
You heard it here.
You heard it from her first. You heard her reaction. You know what it is. I see the people in the comments are not really agreeing with you, Kate. They're saying, you know, if you take a test next to somebody and you're cheating, you can't get all the answers right. You know,
we haven't gotten all the answers right. If you really watch our games, I'm there. I watch them in person. I've been at the big house watching these games, and I'm like, why the hell are we running it up the middle again? Don't you have another scheme? They got our number. They've stopped our run game. You can do something else. So if we're supposedly out doing all these things, then we should know not to run up the middle because we understand that their defense is going to collapse on our running back and he's only going to gain 2 yards.
I understand. I got you. I understand. Look, you already know she goes to all the games. She knows her team. It is all they're just being investigated. We will find out in the long run. Harbaugh is human. He can do no wrong. I can understand.
Oh, he can do wrong because he sometimes calls plays that I'm like, shut up, Harbaugh. Run something else. We've done that before.
Yeah, I guess you mean like
got hit with it.
Yeah. I guess you mean like the moral stuff more so than just like the bad play, play calling and stuff. That's what you mean. Like
he didn't do no wrong. He let his son coach our team for once, and I was like, no.
All right, I know we can stay. Look, I know we can stay on this forever, but we got I got a little bit more drama. All right, it is being reported that supposedly Robert Kraft is discussing getting rid of Bill Belichick. Do you guys think that this is a good idea? Do you think it's time for Bill to hang up his shoes and his coaching whistle and just throw in the towel and say, I've had a great career? It's not looking so good in New England this year, and it hasn't been for the last few years since Tom Brady has left to go to the Bucs. What do you guys think? Should it be time? I mean, people have been talking about it. All right, Nicole, what you think?
Yes. I hate to say it, and I mean, I respect all to everyone, but like the game has changed. It's been a lot of decades, 2 at least, that he's seen pass over and pass over, and like what they say with the quarterbacks, it's a passing game, and the game has changed, and I do think that it is, and it might be time for him to maybe retire, look at other hobbies. He'd be a great analyst. He would be a great book linguist. He could be a good we could have him on the podcast as a guest. But I just think that it is he casts such a great shadow behind all of the other people that maybe it would be nice to have some new light for someone to step up. That maybe it'd be surprising if someone was just watching from behind the scenes and then took the mic. I'm here for it.
Okay, all right. Kate, what you think?
I think it's time for Bill to go. I think it's time. He doesn't even look happy when he's coaching anymore. He just has that
he never looks happy
scowl on his face, and he just, like it was time. I even admitted it was time for Tom Brady to retire. So it's time for Bill to retire. Maybe he could have a job in the organization as like player personnel, scouting, drafting. Maybe he could go off and join Tom Brady on his yacht while he sunbathes. Because we've all seen the video of that recently. But it's time for Bill to retire. It's like we've talked in years past about the turning of the generations of quarterbacks, like the Mannings retiring and everything else. It's time for the coaches to do a turnover as well, bring in fresh blood. So, I think it's time for Belichick to retire.
I understand. It hurts, but and there's always time for everyone to just go and do something else. Eventually, when the scheme and stuff gets a little old, like Nicole said, it's been years since, things have changed so much in the league.
They have.
Yeah.
Delilah, what you think?
I don't think they're gonna fire him on Monday. I do think that he's going to be forced to resign. I've said that a few times. I think because of the legacy he built with the Pats, I think that they'll allow him that. And also, if they keep losing, they'll get a pick and they can pick a quarterback that they want, which I know that's something that I'm sure they look forward to. So if they have a little draft pick, they'll have a shot at the grand prize that everybody wants, right? Caleb Williams.
They'll be in competition with Carolina this year.
That's what I'm saying. So I just think that I don't think he'll be fired like that. But I do think that this is the last season. I think they're just going to let him write it out again. I know it's always a sticky thing, but we know that if you have a losing record, then you have a lower, a higher order in the draft, right? And so maybe that's why they won't pull it right away. I thought he would get it done, but then he lost like 13-9 or something. Like that was a wild game. So I can't see much improvement. I mean, maybe he might win 1 or 2 games, but that's not a winning season, which is not something that Bill Belichick is used to, right? Is having back-to-back losing 100%. Seasons. See, that's the difference. Like you might have some fluctuations and things like that, but these are like back-to-back losing seasons, something that he's not used to, right? I don't recall a time in his 20 years of coaching or whatever.
It's a low.
So I think they're gonna force him to retire, though. I think we will see him retire. And I agree with Nicole. He can go be an analyst for a lot of money, like a buckload of money. I'm pretty sure, ESPN and Fox and whoever else are out there ready to give him a contract to come on the show with the other coaches that are out there, giving their hot takes. So
absolutely,
I think that's what will happen.
I agree. I totally agree. All right, we got one more, and I know we got a little bit of time, so we're going to keep this one short, but we got to talk about some real drama that is going on. Analysts have to remember they do have a job to do, and they got to speak their mind about the game. It is hard being an analyst, but you got to tell the truth sometimes, and sometimes it may smack you in the mouth. It looks like Steve Smith Jr. had some things to say about Jerry Jeudy and just called him just a guy. Like, we have praised Jerry Jeudy for where he went in the draft. He went before a few players, and, he was a good pick at that time. It seems like Steve Smith is just calling it out and saying he was just a guy, but then realized that what he said out loud may not have been perceived, and he wanted to apologize to Jerry Jeudy, but Jerry Jeudy wasn't having it, ladies and gentlemen. He was not very happy about what was said about him and knew what he said, and he said, "I don't mess with you," and cursed him out too. He did it so much that people end up finding out about it, and now some drama. Do you think players should take what analysts say so serious? Now, it does come back to bite you. You could say something about somebody, and they can take it a certain way. Do you think that this situation now, according to Steve Smith, he said he was going to apologize to him. He was going over to him in the touchdown zone where he was practicing, telling him, "Hey, I am sorry for what I said," but he wasn't even trying to hear it. So, in your opinion, ladies, do you think that this is warranted for a huge beef, or do you think Jerry Jeudy should squash it because that's what analysts do? They speak their mind. All right, Delilah, what you think?
Yeah, I think that I understand being offended and being hurt, right? Because you're out there putting your game on, trying to do your best, and sometimes it doesn't always come out your best. But the fact that Steve was was running over there to apologize, human nature is if you're about to apologize and someone's cussing you out, like I would have been like, all right, forget it then, I would have reacted similarly to Steve, because I would have been like, but I was going to apologize for what I said, and I don't know if maybe that has to do with age. I'm not saying that Jerry Jeudy is super young, but sometimes with maturity comes with age sometimes. It's not always the case.
Yeah.
But maybe I do think it could have been handled better. I'm not saying he shouldn't have felt that way because, you're offended, you're offended. Hey, you should be allowed to feel the way you feel when someone trash talks you, for sure.
Yep.
So I'm not saying like he should not have felt offended. But I think it did escalate beyond what I think it should have been. Especially when you start cussing, you lose the argument. That's debate 101, by the way. Like that is the first thing from high school through college and even in middle school when they start practicing debating. That's the first rule they tell you. One of the first ones is like once you start cussing, you've lost the argument. Like it's gone. You can't recover because you're not dealing with your point of view anymore, or at least
emotions.
Yeah. So that's where I think, it could have been handled better. I'm not saying, but yeah, I think it was blown out of proportion. I think Jerry Judy made it bigger than what it should have been.
Yeah, I can feel it. All right, Kate, what you think?
I think that you need to ignore the noise and just focus on your game and not take what everybody says about you with a grain of salt and let it brush off your shoulders and just use that as your locker room, put it in your locker. This is what was said about me. So now I got to prove him that I'm not this person that he thinks I am, and take it out on the field. And that's the way you end an argument, is by actions, not by words.
Yeah.
You let your actions speak louder than your words. And then I think he could have just easily said, you know what, I'm not going to entertain this. I'm not going to go to your level. I'm not going to stoop to where you're at with how you feel about me. And I'm just going to show you on the field that I am the player that I know I am.
Yep.
And that's where it could have ended. It didn't need to be words. It didn't need to be the argument. It didn't need to be the cussing like Delilah said. You don't do that. He could have just easily taken it out on the field and said, okay, now what do you got to say about me?
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Nicole, what you think, man? That's good.
Oh, yeah, I definitely do agree. And I'd have to say and think that there is maybe, if it's coming from something like that, there might be a higher road to take with understanding. Good thing to say is to understand, you have to be understood, to kind of come from perspective. And when they talk, it's kind of like conflict at work, where he's doing his job and he's doing his job. So I think the beef will squash over.
Yes, absolutely. You are 100% right. I'm so glad that we got to talk about this drama, ladies. And we see everybody in the comments writing. We do appreciate it. You guys make the show so special. So continue to write, like, share. We love it.